What are your general thoughts about mental illnesses?
I don't know much about mental illnesses, but if I were to know about mental illnesses in a college perspective, is that a lot of people suffer from anxiety and depression based off of school and the amount of work that's given to them.
I think people don't really know a lot about it. It's kind of a taboo subject to talk about.
Do you know anyone with a mental illness?
Not a specific mental illness, but just people in general who may have like minor illnesses like anxiety.
Yeah, I do.
How many people with a mental illness do you think you interact with each day?
Maybe 1 to 2 people.
How many people do you interact total with a day?
I'd say 10 to 20 people.
No.
I don't know. It'd be tough to say. I feel like I'd say like 20, but it's probably a lot
20
more.
with a mental illness?
Yeah, maybe.
How many people do you interact with per day?
Decent amount.
What are your thoughts about mental hospitals?
Mental hospitals. Mainly see mental hospitals in a movie, but other than that, mental hospitals aren't very well known for like a good reason. Yeah.
I think it's better than like how it used to be, but there could still be like a lot of reforms.
Do you think that people with mental illnesses have caused the majority of the mass shootings and gun violence recently?
I'd say a lot of them have had mental illnesses, but other situations that have caused mass shootings could be due to terrorism or ISIS related.
No, I think it's actually like the majority of the people aren't. Like most people with mental illness are really peaceful and stuff like that. So.
Do you think that if a mentally ill person has possession of a gun, that it's a problem?
Yes, I do believe a person with a mental illness who has a gun, it can be a problem. For example, the American Sniper movie, where he spent all of his time at war, and then when he finally comes back, gets killed by a guy with a mental illness who suffered in previous world wars. So yes, I believe people with mental illnesses should not be around guns, and if so, they should be with a person of some sort of guidance to look out for them and handle the gun properly.
So the next question is, do you think that someone with a mental illness should be able to own a gun? You would say no.
No.
Okay.
No, I don't think it makes a big difference.
So do you think that someone with a mental illness should be able to own a gun?
Yeah, I mean, just as much as anybody else. I mean, it depends on like what their past tendencies have been, but.
What kind of things have swayed your views on mental illnesses, such as like media or movies?
I'd say based off of media and movies that we really need to like be more careful about looking out over people with mental illnesses, and that some people look at it as just like a small thing, and that it's a once in a while occurrence for the shooting and stuff, and suicide could lead to it, and we need to be more, we need to observe the situation more and try and identify people who have mental illnesses earlier so you don't change certain outcomes.
I think the media like depicts it really strongly, especially with like mass shootings. If it is someone with mental illness, they really push that as like a fact why, but I don't know. I've taken like psych classes and criminology classes, which have kind of counteracted a lot of that stuff.
Do you know what causes a mental illness?
No, I do not.
A lot of times it's like hormone and biology type things. That's what I think.
So looking out over my video, we only got to see what 2 perspectives of mental illnesses were. I had asked more than 5 other people to sit down and talk with me about mental illnesses, and no one felt comfortable. No one wanted to do that. I know mental illnesses are a hard thing to talk about because they're looked at in society as a bad thing, and that people with them aren't the same as other people, but they need to be talked about. I know people that are too scared to come out about how they feel because of the fact that people might think they're crazy, people might think they're dangerous. The things that the news say about mental illnesses is so out of proportion. Not all people with mental illnesses are dangerous. That's this very small 0.5% of the people with mental illnesses in America. So mental illnesses are a big thing. They affect 20% of people in the US. If we can end the stigma, if we can educate people about what mental illnesses actually are and that they don't have to be afraid of people with mental illnesses, it would make things so much easier. If we end the stigma, people won't be as scared to go get help or reach out for help. If we could educate people on what mental illnesses actually are, then they would realize that they don't need to be scared. They would realize the warning signs of a mental illness. They'll be able to tell the warning signs of suicide. It could save lives. Simple, hey, are you doing okay? Could go a long way. If we can end the stigma, so many people would be less scared to go out and get help that they need. I've been through this. I've made it through the stigma. And I know that if we get people to raise awareness, that it will make it so much easier for the people that are going through it right now and that are going to go through it.